If you grew up in the 90s, this Casio F91W was your childhood watch, and many F91Ws accompanied us into high school, college, and career. Many of us have many fond memories of this watch, and as adults, continued our interest in watches and the standard that all of our subsequent watches are compared to. Amazingly, this watch is still being sold after 33 years for about $15 to $20. This watch is made of resin, except for the case back, which is made of steel. Can be very thick steel because if you catch it in the right light, you can see the dent that the stamping machine made on mine, imprinting all that watch information. It is super light at 21 grams, which is right under 3/4 of an ounce. No special titanium alloys used here. This watch is 37.5 millimeters tall by 34.5 millimeters wide and 8.5 millimeters thick. And it is small enough for a middle schooler and doesn't look out of place on the same wrist 25 years later. And let's see, here's a size comparison with a US quarter. You can see a quarter can completely cover the display of the watch. The display is very readable, but the green light is fairly feeble. You can see it just very faint glow there, but it's serviceable enough in a dark movie theater. It has an alarm to wake you up in the morning and an hourly signal to let you know the end of the school day is 1 hour closer. Then, of course, you have the most played game of the 90s, the stopwatch. Many hours were passed competing with your friends trying to stop the stopwatch on exactly 1 second. The adjustment mode is right after the stopwatch, and this watch is accurate to about 1 second per day or plus minus 30 per month. And on the later model years, if you hold the lower right button, there is an Easter egg. Look at that, it says Casio. Say what you will about G-Shocks, the F91Ws are tough enough to survive all your childhood adventures and rarely taken off the wrist except to stand it up right next to you on your desk for a test. I had a pretty severe F91W watch tan for a really, really long time. And when you're a kid, G-Shocks back then were just too huge. I mean, look at the size comparison. Imagine that on a middle schooler's wrist, which is way too huge and way too expensive. And honestly, I may not have fared any better in terms of being tough. And as your faithful childhood companion, the F91W told you when to get up in the morning, when school lunch breaks are, and you timed yourself on standardized tests and classroom presentations as well. This particular watch is my third F91W. There are many like it, but this one is mine. I had one from middle school to high school and another one during college, my first time job, and then graduate school. This one is from a couple years ago after graduate school. For all the memories that a watch evokes, I will bet the F91W contains more than any other watch on the planet, whatever the marketing of the more expensive watch brands try to tell you. This is the watch that you should be passing down to your kids. Thanks for taking a trip down memory lane with me and this, my Casio F91W.